Now, it's always been a dream of mine to own an E30 V8, so when I seen this pop up with no windows, no registration plate, no brakes, no running gear, no engine, no nothing, of course we're going to buy it. Now, we've been spending the last few weeks doing exactly that, making a V8 E30. We got a V8 out of an LS400, we've got a custom adaptation plate, custom flywheel, we've bought a BMW gearbox, and it's all coming together. Now, I don't want to faff around with this car, but there's definitely a few things you've got to do while the engine is out, and I'm not going to lie, they're pretty much complete. There's just a few more things we've got to do before we put the engine in, so without any further ado, let's do those things and let's get this engine in. Now, I kicked myself on whether I actually wanted to do this, because I actually just want to get the engine in and drive the car, but I know for a fact I'd hate myself later down the line if I didn't do this now. So what we're going to do, we're going to paint the engine bay while the engine is out, because it just makes sense. Now, the whole car came primered, so we don't have to do too much work, luckily. All we've got to do is just flat it down a little bit, scuff it off, and just rub off any surface rust which has come about. Is this a joke? What the f***? Now, I'm not going to sit here and teach you how to suck lemons or pretend that I know how to suck lemons. I can't paint for shit. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I do know that what you got to do first is a little bit of a dust coat. Now, I would have loved to do the bay the same colour as the interior. Have I told you I painted the interior? I'm not quite. I think I'll do that in a second. I would love to have painted the same colour as the interior, but the spray paint that I got for the interior was terrible. I literally had to use like 2 thumbs to push it down, and I couldn't get in any crevices. So I went and got some paint, which I thought would have looked the same, and it looks totally different. But it is what it is. Don't worry about it. Okay, so there we go. There is the bay painted. A lot of people are saying, why did I not do it the same colour as the inside? And that's because the spray paint that I got for the inside was crap. And the finish of it is it's just not good. So yeah, see, the finish is it's just not good. Some bits it's okay. I just wanted some local spray paint, and the colour of the car that we're going, we can't do anything, we can't do a crazy bay because the colour of the car's going. So this is just like an anthracite grey. I didn't want to do black and I didn't really want to do silver, so this is somewhere in the middle. I'm going to let it dry and see how it comes up, so I'm not sure if it's going to be metallic or not. It's obviously not metallic now, but I don't know how matte it's going to be, so we're probably going to get some lacquer and just like do some 2 big coats of lacquer just to make it super, super, super shiny. But the paint shop that I got this from didn't do lacquer, so I'm going to have to run to Halfords and get some lacquer when that dries, and we'll just blast it and make it look super shiny, and I think that's going to be okay. So it's actually dried quite shiny, to be fair. I thought it was going to dry a lot matter than this, because it's actually pretty much dry now, so it doesn't really need much lacquer, but I've already just bought 2 tins anyway, so what we'll do is we'll make it extra shiny just to make it look like it's a little bit better of a colour than it actually is, and then just so I've not wasted 20 quid on nothing. So you know the crack with lacquer, guys, do it nice and thick, and if you're not getting runs, it's not thick enough. I'm actually super happy that I did that. That cost like £9, and that made such a big difference. I just used 1 full tin, just going over the bits that you would see, because a lot of the bottom of the chassis you're not going to see with the engines in, so mainly the strut towers and just like the front of the strut towers and those bits. So we're going to carry on with the E30, we've got a lot of things to do, so let's head over to the engine where I've done some things off camera. Here is the V8. Now obviously we have deleted quite a few things. Air conditioning, which was sat here, massive big lump, so we took that off. Now we're actually going to be running a different power steering setup. We're not going to be running the power steering off this engine, which I'm glad about because it was massive, and if you remember when we were taking the engine out, we ruined it. We ruined the connectors, we ruined the vacuum line going to it, and we scraped the whole side of it trying to get it out the engine. And that was sat here. You can't see where the bolt is here. That's all well and good, but it's caused a bit of a problem. The problem is the belt. Because we've took away the power steering, our belt's going to have to go around the alternator, which means it's going to have to go under here and then around here, which is an issue because of this. So to show you why this is going to be an issue, I've got the old belt and we're going to run it how we're going to have to run it without the pulleys. So what we're going to go around the crankshaft. Now we're going to go around the water pump, which is on the non-rib side of the belt, on the rib side of the belt. Now what would happen here, this would be where the power steering is. So go around the power steering and that's perfect. So we've got the tensioner here, and the tensioner is obviously, it's going to tension the belt. The way we're going to run it, we need to go straight across here like this. That's what we need to do, because we can't go around like that, because it's going to pull it's not going to pull the belt around the alternator properly, and this is the rib side on there. So what we've got to do is, we're going to have to make something and take off this tensioner totally. So, here's my idea. I'm sorry this is confusing, you've got to stay with me. So here is the alternator now. As standard, it's nutted in there and it's bolted to the bottom, and that's, you can't move the alternator. That is what it is. But on Subarus and things like that, you have alternators, you tighten the belt using the alternator. So you loosen the belt off, you pull the alternator, and then you tighten it. Now that would work, because that will allow us to get rid of this tensioner, and we can run a straight belt from here over to here, and we can just pull this, tighten it, and when we take the belt off, you undo the bolts, loosen it, pop the belt off. And here we have a little metal plate. So instead of the bolt going through here on the alternator and bolting the alternator, we're going to drill a hole through this, and I've ordered a 60mm aluminium spacer, so that's going to sit like this, okay? Then we're going to drill at like a straight line in here. We can pull the alternator forward and back to tighten the belt. So we loose the belt, pull it forward, we pull the alternator, and we tighten the belt. That's the plan. Whether or not it's going to work, we're going to have to find out, but I'm sticking with it, and I'm going to drill some holes in this and make this work. I wanted to get this off, and I couldn't find a way to get it off. I googled it, and apparently people were saying to get the actual tensioner off, you've got to take the timing chain cover off and all that kind of bullshit. And then I looked and I was like, wait, the alternator kind of attaches to that, so I need this. So what did I do? I got a big fucking gun and I just sent it until it broke. So now we can run a belt. I might have to just cut this bit off, to be fair. We'll get the grinder and just cut that bit off. Now we can run a belt straight. Hopefully this works, because there's no going back now. I learned the hard way last time. And I've never not grinded using eye protection. If you didn't watch the last video, I was in a bad way for a night, and I don't know how the hell I woke up fine the next morning. But yeah, it wasn't a good night. I got some metal in my eye. It wasn't fun. So boom. Take the bolt off. We'll take this bolt off. Drop that. Take off the belt. Put it on. Pull the alternator. Tighten it, and then we've got a tight belt. You feel me, boys? You feel me? Okay, so now we've messed off the power steering. Now we've fucked off the power steering. We actually had a power steering line, a vacuum line, which went to the power steering pump. Which I was like, why has it got a vacuum line? It's definitely a vacuum line. It comes into here on the intake. I googled it. Apparently, it's to increase the engine idle when you're turning. Anyway, we don't need that anymore, so we're obviously going to do this correct way, and we're going to find the perfect blank, and we're going to get the right size blank and make this nice and pretty. Okay, so you can actually order some of these brackets from eBay, but I'm not waiting, and I don't want to risk getting the wrong size, and I ain't spending any money. We're just going to make it ourselves. So I'm going to drill a hole here, and this is going to be our main bolt to bolt into the engine, and then we somehow going to make a straight line. It would be perfect to make a curved line, but it doesn't really matter as long as we can just loosen both bolts. It's going to work. It's going to work, guys. I promise it's going to work. So it was just hitting on one of the brackets on the alternator. So what we're going to do is we're going to just flat one side down and make it a bit more oval so it doesn't hit. And this is somewhat how it's going to go. We obviously just drill a few holes and we just join the holes together. Now we can actually make it a bit longer. I think we're going to have to make it a little bit longer to get more adjustment. But that is basically the idea. The bolt will slide through the middle, and that's going to allow the alternator to move forward and back to loosen and tighten the belt. Okay, so we are actually really close to getting the engine in the car. Now the bay is painted. This was literally the last thing. So we're actually going to start putting the engine in the car, like literally well, as soon as we do these last couple things now. So I have test fitted the engine mounts. I have ordered the right ones that this company said, who've made these engine mount adapters. But my issue is that they only just go in. See that? Now that's not going to be good, because that's not going to give it. Well, it is going to slide, but it's not going to slide too much. And the only reason it's just gone in is because I've put it in the past. So I think that they've cut these to the perfect size, and then once they've powder coated or painted them or whatever they've done, it's just made it a little bit too thick. Now my worry of forcing it in like that and sliding it about is it's going to ruin the threads on this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get a drill bit, and we're just going to drill them out. I think it's a 10mm drill bit, so I'm just going to drill them out so I can easily put, because see what I mean? So I can easily put that in and easily slide up and down, because the last thing we want to do is ruin the threads on this expensive engine mount from Powerflex. Thank you so much to Powerflex for supplying these engine mounts. Thank you so much. I was really struggling to get these, and Powerflex have absolutely come through. And they've not just given the engine mounts, they give us some gearbox mounts as well. And they've asked, do I need any suspension stuff as well? So Powerflex want to get involved in this build. So thank you so much, Powerflex. If you've not heard of Powerflex, you've been living under a rock. They are one of the biggest, if not the biggest, supplier of polybushed bushes in the world. So yeah, they do engine mounts, all bushes and car anti-roll bar bushes, inserts, replacement bushes, everything. So thank you, Powerflex. Head over to Powerflex, see if they've done something for you. Now, these are E36 engine mounts, so apparently what I need. Now, we have to do a little bit of modification because they don't fit in here that well. And we just need to do a little bit of modification to get these E36 engine mounts to fit in this E30, which I've had a look, and which shouldn't take us too long. So first of all, let's get a drill bit, and let's just drill these out just so this slides in nice, because I don't want to, the last thing I want to do is have to faff around with this when it's hanging off the engine crane. And we're literally just gonna, if I can get the drill under, oh, you bastard. Oh, I don't want to be doing this. Oh. Okay, so we're just gonna just clean off, literally just clean off the paint. Just do a little bit at a time until these slide in nice, because we want a little bit more, just a little bit more, just get off the paint. Yeah, we don't want it super loose, but we actually just want it, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. So it's tight, but we've actually got movement as well, which is exactly what we want. So we'll put the nut on this side, not super tight, so we're gonna have to just move it around what's in the car, and then we'll do the other side. And then we need to do a little bit of adjustment to the engine bay, engine mounts inside the bay as well. Okay, so now we're inside the engine bay. As you can see, you have the locator pin, which is here, and then the bolt. Now, it's just a little bit too far forward. If we put this bolt in here, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this on camera, but the bolt goes in there, and the locator is literally a few millimeter out. So all we got to do is just lengthen this this oval here, so that this locator sits in there, because right now it's not. Okay, we got one side in. Not the straightest hole in the world, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't change where the bolt is. It's just to stop it from, you know, rotating out, to be fair, and so it actually sits flat. So to do a little bit of massage on the chassis leg, because it was just touching. See where it's just touching the thing. So I'll just do a little bit of a massage, and that's in. I think what's going to be easier is if we bolt these to here and then drop the engine on here. I think it's going to be too difficult trying to put them on and then line them up in here. Oh no, it does go in quite easy that now, actually. I think, I'm not quite sure. Let's just do it. Let's just do it so we can do both ways. So we can either put it like this or put it on the engine, because then it'll be easier going forward. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to have to just do a little bit more painting here, because I've just done a little bit of cheeky little massage. But that's one in. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. That's one engine mount in there, which is good. We're very close to the fucking steering right there. Hopefully we'll be fine.
So in the next video, everyone, we're going to be dropping the engine in the car, and I'm so excited. I've always wanted an E30 V8, and I cannot wait to drive this thing. I just want to say thank you for everyone who still watch the videos religiously, and especially people still watching to the end to listen to this message. Thank you so much. YouTube is a very stressful thing when your views go up and down, especially when you've got a project that you're really proud of. So I honestly really appreciate everyone watching this series. So thank you very much. This car will be finished, and I'm not going to quit on this car. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.